Hey y'all, this is Mr. Chad, and today I'm going to be talking about how to create your dream body. So, first off, I'm going to show some pictures of myself to know that, I've been through the ringer. I know it's good. I'm not perfect. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm on the right path and I'm getting there. And all of these things would have helped me out tremendously if I'd have known these from the beginning. So, yeah. Let's get right into it. Anyway, I just got back from work. It's a side tangent. Got off from work. I worked about 10 hours, worked at a paper factory, and came up with the idea of how to create your dream body. And I wrote it all in this notebook. I literally used like half the pages. I'm gonna be making a video about these little notebooks and how it's like a game changer and everything like that as well. I don't have much time in my day. Like I work a lot of hours and I try to get a lot of sleep and I have to work out and like manage time with friends and family, and this is pretty much the only time I got. So like I'm gonna eat at the same time that I'm recording this video. Multitask, because otherwise I wouldn't have the time to do this. So please excuse me eating my popcorn with no butter or anything. It's just plain popcorn, no salt, no nothing, just plain popcorn. Enough rambling already. So, how to create your dream body. Funnily enough, it's a lot easier than you might think. Whenever you see bodybuilders or like you see a picture of someone that's really fit, it's not as hard as you think it is, right? But at the same time, it takes longer than you think it would take. So for example, like whenever I first started working out, I thought that I would have been able to like get my dream body within like maybe like a year or two of starting. I was like, yeah, 2-3 years. I'm gonna be pretty jacked. And yeah, it didn't work out that way. It came a lot slower than I thought it would. But it's not as complex as you might think either. So close your eyes with me here, yeah? And we're gonna be doing a little bit of imagination. Just imagine this world where you close your eyes, yeah? And you wake up, you go to the mirror, and you look at yourself. And instead of seeing a fat slob with big ass man titties and a gut hanging off, you see a nice sculpted body with a six pack. And you're happy with what you see in the mirror. You're proud of what you see. Number one. Imagine this as well, right? Imagine going to the pool and without having to think twice, you just throw your shirt off without even worrying about it. You're not worried about, like, oh, do I look fat as fuck? Am I ugly? Are people staring at my man titties? No, you're not worried about that at all. Your mind is present and you're enjoying the time. You're enjoying the pool and you ain't even gotta worry about your man titties or big gut. You got a six pack, you're looking good, you're feeling yourself. You already know what's up. Number three. Imagine waking up and feeling like you got a mission, like you got a purpose. You have something to work towards. You're not just walking around aimlessly, doing nothing all day. Like you actually have something to work towards. Because I know before I started working out, I was playing a lot of video games, smoking a lot of weed. Basically just wasting my time. watching like way too many YouTube videos, like literally watching like 6 hours of YouTube videos a day, eating a bunch of junk food, having no purpose. I'm just trying to be entertained. I'm trying to get some of that dopamine. But imagine having something to work towards and able to see progress in the real life and, and not a video game. You're leveling up in real life. That's cool as shit. Popcorn is good as hell. Last one, all right? Stick with me here. Imagine waking up, yo. You're feeling clean. You're feeling lean. You're feeling healthy. Feeling full of energy. You just don't feel like sloppy. Having a nice body, like that's honestly a big difference. Like whenever you're at a healthy weight, like you just feel so much better and you actually got energy to do stuff. And you feel good. You feel good. Not every day, like obviously, like if you get your dream body, you're not gonna be like on top of the world all the time and feel like God. Obviously not, but you're gonna wake up and like you're not gonna be out of breath and like you're just gonna be overall, you're just gonna be feeling healthy, you got energy and stuff like that. Pretty sure that's it. I have a bunch of notes here. This might be a longer video. So by following this guide, you'll be able to achieve all those scenarios that I just told you. Instead of it just being a dream, you're gonna be living it. And I'm talking from experience, yo. And let me tell you, at the beginning of this, I told you that it's easier than you thought, which is true. It is easier than you think, but it's still gonna be hard work. The hard work is staying consistent. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. Staying consistent. Like the days that you got motivation, man, this is easy. That's slight work. It's the days whenever you wake up and you're like, oh man, I really ain't feeling this. That's when it's hard, yo. And that's whenever like the boys are separated from the men. Damn. Drop some popcorn. All right. So getting your dream body. This is not a quick fix, yo. If you want your dream body, you want to have a six-pack, you want to look good, you want to be healthy, it's a lifestyle, not a quick fix. The way you live changes completely. It's not like, all right, I just work out and that's it. Like I work out and then like you get your dream body. The way you live, like your lifestyle changes. I mean, yes, you can make improvements, but you're not going to get your dream body. I'm basically saying you're not really going to reach your full potential. You'll reach like 25% if all you do is just work out and nothing else changes. Like you'll get 25% there. Like, yeah, you'll get a little bit bigger, but it's a lifestyle. It really is. And I'll explain further into the video. So, I'm pretty sure I already said this, but I'm gonna say it again. If you believe this is gonna be a quick fix, like there's like some secret hack to like getting your dream body, where like you just have to do one thing, you eat a certain diet or you do one certain exercise, and you're gonna have your dream body. Like, no, that's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. It's an everyday thing. And you really have to want it. If you like, that's the thing, like you really have to want it in order to get it, is what I'm saying. You have to commit to changing the way you think and the way you live. All right. The good news is you don't have to change everything at once. You don't. I didn't change everything at once. Shoot, I'm still not on the optimal route right now. I'm still not perfect with my working out and getting my perfect sleep and stuff like that. But you slowly start to stack these bricks of good habits, of slowly getting rid of bad ones and slowly adding in good ones. And yeah, it's baby steps. It's baby steps to get to where you want to be. Granted, you will 100% make way faster gains and you will get way better gains if you do everything optimally. But that's just common sense. But I don't know of anyone that has just gone like from average Joe to like the most optimal like workout program like ever. I mean, like a bodybuilder lifestyle. If you went from like an average Joe to bodybuilder lifestyle, I've never seen it before. So it's just slowly changing yourself from like the average Joe and then adding in habits of like a bodybuilder and someone that takes care of himself and his body. You're in it for the long run. If you're dedicated, you're in it for the long run, you're going to get your results. It might take a while, but you're going to get your results. I promise you. And it's a lot harder at the beginning because you're not seeing much progress. And you're like, damn, I'm busting my ass over here. Like I'm going to the gym like every day, every other day. I ain't seeing jack diddly. Like, why am I even doing this? But that's a blessing and a curse in disguise. If you suck it up for like the first, I would say 3 months are the hardest, because for the first 3 months you really ain't gonna see anything. At least in my experience, I didn't really see anything. But I also wasn't working out optimally. If you follow this, like, you probably get better results. The first 3 months I didn't really see anything. Those were the hardest times because I look in the mirror, I'm like, why am I even doing this? Like, I don't see any change. I don't see anything. But there was a quote, and I'm pretty sure I read this in Atomic Habits. It was like, I don't know it exactly word for word, but it's about a stone, like a stone carver, like a stone chipper, and like he hits the stone like 99 times, and nothing happens but the 100th hit, like it cracks in half. All those 99 hits were not worthless. Like, those weren't for nothing. The 100th hit was the one that broke it, but it's still just like one hit. It's all the stuff that you do beforehand that builds on top of each other that brings you to like your body, or what I'm essentially trying to say. So, like in the story of the tortoise and the hare, fast, drastic changes, sudden, abrupt, they'll be too substantial, and like it'll be too far away from your normal habits and routine for you to stick with. It's like, just imagine this, yeah? You're a video gamer, you stay up till like 5 in the morning, you eat junk food, you don't work out at all, and then you just automatically hop on like top tier, like, okay, I don't stay up till 5 in the morning anymore, I don't play video games anymore, I don't eat junk food anymore. Like, that's literally your whole identity. Like, how are you gonna change all of that on like on a whim? Like, you're gonna try to, and you might be successful for a couple days, but eventually like shit's gonna get tough and you're gonna fall back onto your old habits. But if you're the tortoise, you take it slow and steady. It'll be easier to like digest and implement into your routines. So instead of like trying to take everything out at once, let's just say like, all right, I start going to bed earlier. I go to bed at like, let's just say, over like the next week, you go to sleep earlier and earlier, and then you end up going to sleep at like 10 p.m. every day, and then you wake up at 6 a.m. every day. So by doing that one change, it's like the butterfly effect. Like, the butterfly flapped its wings like one time, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, like a meteor didn't hit the earth, something like that. So small, slow changes are way easier to stick to. Us as humans, we're creatures of habit. So as I was saying earlier, if you just try to go from like the worst, like most degenerate lifestyle to like trying to live a perfect lifestyle without like taking any baby steps to get there, like you're eventually just gonna fall back to where you were. And then you're gonna be like, damn, I can't do this at all. But you just went way too damn fast. It's like you're riding a bicycle and you have the training wheels on, and instead of like the next step being like taking the training wheels off and riding the bike, they put you on like a sport like motorcycle, and they expect you like not to fall and like kill yourself. So the key to becoming successful in the gym, successful like in making your body, pretty much anything in life, honestly, is taking baby steps, one step at a time, not rushing, enjoying the process, and learning. That's how you become successful. And it's rough because, trust me, I know. I got ADHD. Like, I love my stimulation. I want it now. But the stuff that you have to work for and that takes a bunch of time, like, you just appreciate it so much more. Like, I really appreciate all the work that I did in, like, these past, like, 5 years of my life to go to the gym whenever I wasn't seeing any progress at all. And now seeing myself now, I'm like, I'm just so damn thankful I did it. And, like, the time goes by anyway, so, like, why not do it? Like, yeah, you're gonna be like more comfortable in the moment, but like just imagine yourself like 5 years down the road with like a six pack and a good body, and you're like, wow, life is just so much better. Like, I feel more confident about myself. I feel healthier. Like, the women start getting looks from, and it'll be more confident too. You get more respect from people. You get more respect for yourself. Yada yada yada. First things first, you know. We have to start thinking of food as fuel instead of pleasure or vice or distraction. So trust me, I know the struggle. I was a fat kid, had big old man titties, big old tummy. I was bullied. I had ADHD. I didn't really fit in well, and I used food as a coping mechanism. And I would just eat and eat and eat and eat, and I would literally just eat until like I wanted to like vomit everywhere. And it did a good job of like trying to like hide. Like, it was doing a good job like hiding my problems or like brushing it under the carpet. But like if you step back and take a look at it, what is food? Food is fuel. When you want to put like good fuel into your body, or you want to put in all that dookie? Seriously. Where do you think the food goes when you eat it? What do you think your body does? Excuse me. What do you think your body uses to build new cells? If you had a big donut with some ice cream, it's using that donut and ice cream to build your cells. If you ate a nice, manly, good tasting steak with like some potato and like some broccoli, it's using that to build your body. Now, what do you think is gonna be better? How, like, if you're working out, shoot, even just talking to someone, you know, if you're feeling good, you're gonna have a better conversation with them. If you're trying to work out, your workout's gonna be like 20 times better. Just think about that. You're literally what you eat. You literally are what you eat. It doesn't just come in one side and out the other. How do you think like your body builds all those cells and repairs itself? It uses the food. You are your food. I'm popcorn right now. I'm popcorn. Okay. You don't really have to close your eyes for this one, but Just remember with me here. Just reminisce, all right? Bring you back. Bring you back. Or shoot, it might even be right now. Remember the last time you binged on junk food? Whenever you just totally pigged out and had like a whole ass bar of chocolate? Drank like 3 Cokes? Had like half a cake? Yeah, you felt really good in the moment. And trust me, yeah, you do. You do that. That cake, that donut, the ice cream. I love me some good cake, donut, and ice cream. But afterwards, you know how terrible you feel afterwards. Your stomach be hurting from the sugar crash or eating too much sugar. You feel sick. You feel tired. You feel lethargic. You don't want to do anything. Who wants to live like that? That's so awful. Just feeling like low energy and just, ugh. You know the feeling. Then, like, whenever you eat sugar, you just eat way too much of it. Like, especially if you don't have control over it. Like, you'll just keep eating and eating until, like, you literally get sick and don't want to eat it anymore. You're literally getting sick. Plus sugar, like, all the inflammation, like, you're literally making yourself worse. It feels good in the moment. Instant dopamine hit. Is it really worth it? The opposite is true with healthy whole foods. When you're used to like eating a bunch of sugar and high fat foods, the whole foods ain't gonna taste as good at all. You're gonna be like, damn, I'm missing out. But if you prepare it right, like if you got like a decent amount of cooking skills, you can make some vegetables. You can make some vegetables, you can make some rice, you can make some quinoa, you can make some steak taste pretty damn good. Maybe it don't taste as good as a pizza, but like pizza's like a super stimulus. Like you're getting, like that's just unnatural. That's just way too many damn calories. It's grease, no protein, no nothing. But just remember the last time you actually had like a good healthy meal, like a salad with some like chicken. I'm just gonna use the basic ass, like chicken, rice, and broccoli. Eating some chicken, rice, and broccoli. Unless you literally just ate until like you wanted to vomit. You probably felt good afterwards, didn't you? Like you had more energy, you felt clean, you felt more energized than you did tired, and you actually just felt like good overall. Yeah. You are what you eat. So just take that into account the next time that you're looking at a piece of cake. Just think about the sugar crash, how tired you're gonna feel afterwards, how your stomach's not gonna feel great, how literally everything afterwards is just not gonna be as good. Just remember that. Go ham on popcorn. Also, I've been going ham on this. This is less than 400 calories. Swear to God, and I can eat so much of it, and it tastes good. Even without all the butter and stuff, it just tastes awesome. So for me, for example, when there's dessert or candy, or like some junk food, like pizza, something like that, laying in front of me, yeah, I'm tempted. I want to eat that piece of cake. I want to eat that pizza. But every time I do that, I weigh out like the pros and cons. Like, yeah, I have one piece of cake and I feel good for like 2 minutes, and then for like at least a couple hours, I feel terrible. And pretty much everyone around me is like, sorry, I have some popcorn stuck like up here. I was like kind of annoying. My family, my friends, my girlfriend, they're all like, oh, you take it too seriously. You can spoil yourself sometimes. First of all, if I spoil myself sometimes, like if I eat one piece of cake like every other day, or like have like some milk chocolate like every other day, like that stuff adds up. That stuff adds up. Like imagine driving your car on like the smoothest road possible, and then driving on a road with like some like tiny potholes in it. Like, you drive the same amount of miles, that one that has like the tiny amount of potholes are gonna break down faster than the other one. Like, also with like the 99 hits with the rock and the hundreds one breaking it, yeah, it builds up. All of that does not go unseen. And no, I don't regret not eating a piece of cake. I always feel better afterwards. Plus, I'm not worrying about my calories and stuff like that. Like, I can have one piece of cake, or I can have this much popcorn. And I've already ate like a lot of it too. Popcorn, no brainer. It's an addiction, to be honest with you. So, on the lines of it being an addiction, whenever I was younger and I was still eating like shit, I remember like I could drink like a whole thing sweet tea. I could eat like a bunch of chocolate. I could eat a bunch of cake, donuts, candy. I could eat a lot of it. But like it just wasn't satisfying that sweet tooth. But eventually over time, and whenever I stopped eating all that junk food, and I've been eating the healthy food, like whenever I do go back, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like literally there are some times where like I have like the tiniest piece of cake. Like I have like 2 bites out of it. I'm like, all right, that's good. Like I still satisfied, like I'm still living life here. I'm not gonna give up literally everything, especially because I'm not gonna be competing in like Mr. Olympia or anything. If that was the case, like if I was that serious, I probably wouldn't even eat that. But I'm still living life here, so you know, like sometimes I like take like a bite or two of cake, or like have a bite of a donut, or like have like one singular pizza, something like that. But I also understand like I'm probably not gonna be feeling as good afterwards. Anyway, I was getting off track. Basically, sugar wasn't doing anything for me whenever I was eating it like every single day. I like high fat foods. Like it was just normal as hell. But then whenever I started eating healthy and I did have that like that one piece of cake or that one piece of candy, man, that one piece of candy was really freaking good. Even with like way less sugar too. Like I have myself some like sweet tea now. That is way too damn sweet for me. Like it's actually kind of gross and like how sweet it is. And you start to enjoy like the taste of, like before I used to hate dark chocolate because it was not sweet at all, and coffee because it was like bitter. But now like it actually tastes good. Like I actually enjoy the taste of it. Like it doesn't have to be super sweet. It still can taste good. It's like a drug addiction. Your body starts to build like a tolerance. It gets used to like all the sugar that you're eating, all the bad food that you're eating. It's not even special anymore. So that's that. So we've discussed food, consistency with the gym, how taking it slow and steady is better than just trying to race through it and trying to lose like 10, 100 pounds in freaking like 2 days. Yeah. Let's talk about some equipment that you can use to help you in this process. They're honestly kind of essential. Like if you actually want to go somewhere, you can obviously, you know, still get your dream body without it, but like it makes it like a pain in the butt. So you need a scale, a mirror, a camera, a food scale, and I'll explain you why here in a second. So obviously you need a scale to track your weight. I didn't start weighing myself until like a couple months ago. And like the only thing I would use was my eyeballs. And I could never tell if I was losing or gaining weight. Like I could only do it by like how I felt. And you really can't compare like anything to like your eyeball. Like yeah, I've got like a couple pictures and like I can see that I'm getting fatter or like I'm getting skinnier, but like I don't really know, and I don't know by how much, and I don't know like if like how many like if I'm just eating way too much food, or I'm eating like just a little bit too much food, or like I'm eating way too much food, or I'm not eating enough. Basically, you need a scale in order to see like if you're eating enough or you're eating too much. It's just like if you have these measurements, then you know for sure like this is gonna work, instead of just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Weight must. Scale. Okay, a mirror. A mirror. This was pretty obvious. You want to see yourself, and it makes taking like progress pictures a lot easier. This is probably like the least necessary out of all of them, but like who the hell doesn't have a mirror? Like just go into the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror, see if you're losing weight, see if like you're looking fatter, if you're looking better, stuff like that. It's mainly for you to see and to like take pictures in. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm just gonna read this word for word because it's pretty good. Going back to the tracking comment, the more stats that you track, the better you're able to confirm progress, weed out and identify the issues, and increase the likelihood of you achieving your goals. That's just straight facts, yo. And fact check me if you want to. But it really does. It really does. Like before, whenever I wasn't using the scale, like I couldn't tell if I was eating too much food. I couldn't tell if I was getting fat. I couldn't tell like if I was progressing at all. But by having the scale, I was able to like compare like myself to myself. And like I could see like if I'm actually eating too much or too little. Next, you need a camera. Unless you're living in like a mud hut in like Africa, like you probably got a freaking camera. It's like you got one on your cell phone. Or you can use like a $20,000 Canon camera and take like the best, most detailed picture of yourself ever. You just need a camera. And that's just to visually track progress. It's basically like a weight scale, but for your eyes. So you can see how you look then versus now. It's a good way of seeing gains. And it's also really good motivation, surprisingly. Not surprisingly. Whenever you see like how fat you were before and then you look like a year or two down the road, you look at yourself now and then you look back like a couple years, you're like, damn. You can use that as motivation. It's a really good motivation, and you're really proud of yourself, and it just makes you want to keep going more. So progress pics, they allow you to see if you're gaining, losing weight over time, if your physique is actually getting better or worse, and it's good motivation, and it's just good to look at. Lastly, you need a food scale. And to be honest, I think this is the most important piece of equipment that you can have. Because if you don't have a scale, like a weight scale, like the one you stand on, you can still use like your eyes kind of like a scale. Like you'll be able to see if you're losing weight or gaining weight based on like how you look. Not as well as like having the scale and your eyes. But if you're not able to track your food, you have no idea like how many calories you're having. But like if you have a food scale, you're able to see how many calories you have per day. And like eventually you'll get it dialed in with like trial and error. Like if you see you're gaining weight, then just cut it back by a couple hundred calories. And then eventually if you start losing weight, then like you have your upper and lower limit, and then you go like somewhere in between, and then you eventually find your spot. This is the most important, and I haven't started using this until like 3 months ago. That was like the best thing. That was like the biggest improvement that I made to my life in like 2023. Possibly even in like the past 5 years. That was like one of the best, that's like the best decision I made. Because as I said before, you're able to see like how many calories you're eating, the macros, and it just makes you like conscious of like what you're eating. Whenever you see that like a thing of Ben and Jerry's has like 500-600 calories in it, you're like, damn, I'd rather just have a bowl of popcorn like this, and there's less calories too. Or There's freaking salad. I swear to God, I fill up a bowl like this, it's like 30 calories, like literally full to the brim. But then, you know, like who eats salad by itself? Like you add some dressing to it, it adds a little bit extra calories. But you want, like, if you like eating like me, then you want to have like a bunch of food that's like low calorie dense, and you can just eat a bunch of it. So in order to find like how many calories that you need per day, you could do it like how I said before. I mean, you know, just trial and error. Um, See if like you're gaining weight. Oh, that's kind of dumb because you're gonna have the scale anyway, and you're gonna have the food scale, stuff like that. So I'd go online, I would search in calorie calculator, and I'd go to 3 different ones, input my information, and average the three. And then after you average the three, start eating at those calories and start tracking like the calories to that, and then make like fine tune it based on the results you're getting. If you like, if the weight, if the scale and the weight, the scale and the weight, if the weight on the scale is going up, then just lower your calories a little bit. If it's going down, up your calories, depending on what you do, obviously. But God, it's so helpful. I can't underestimate like how helpful that food scale is. Like you need it. You need it. Also, when weighing yourself, don't worry about like day-to-day stuff. Like I swear to God. I'm sorry, Mom, but my mom always gets like super excited and happy whenever she's like, "Oh my God, I lost like 2 pounds in one day." Like, "Oh my God, in like 3 days, I lost like 5 pounds." You probably haven't been drinking like enough water, probably dehydrated. The day you weighed yourself, you probably didn't take a shit, and then you weighed yourself, and then you weighed yourself the next day and you took a shit, and then you're down like a couple pounds just based, it's not even body weight at all, it's just a weight in general. Like who cares if you go up like 5 pounds of like water weight or like dookie weight or something like that. You're worried about the fat. You want the fat to go up and down. So whenever you're weighing yourself, take the average of the week and compare week by week. And like if the week average is going up or down, like then adjust it based on that. But don't get afraid if like one day you're like 175, and then the next day you're like 178, and then the next day you're like back at 175, and go to 173. Just average them all out and you'll see where you're going. Don't stress about it. Because I know, like, whenever I was very uneducated about it, like I would kind of do the same thing. Like I'd be super happy whenever I saw 2 pounds go down on the weight scale, even though it's probably water weight, and I'd be like super depressed whenever I saw that like the numbers are going up. Just weigh yourself every day and then just average it out. Also, be consistent whenever you weigh yourself. Try to weigh yourself at the same time, wearing the same stuff, after the same routine. So I'm gonna tell you what I do myself. As soon as I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I go downstairs, I hop on the scale without drinking any water, without eating anything. I have underwear and socks on. Yes, I don't sleep with socks. I do sleep with underwear. I don't sleep with socks. I'm not a maniac. I put my socks on and I go downstairs and I hop on the scale. I have my watch on and I also have this one on. But I have those on all the time. So as long as you're keeping it consistent, you're good. So I just interrupted myself. ADHD, thank you. I'm just gonna read it off here because it's easier. I weigh myself as soon as I wake up. After I use the bathroom, I don't drink any water. I don't eat anything. I only have my socks and underwear on. Yeah. Yeah. Just keep it consistent every day. That's what I'd recommend. Just do what I do. As soon as you wake up, hit the scale. Hit the scale. Don't drink anything. Don't eat anything, because those will mess up with your numbers, which we'll get to as well. Sorry, just had a little brain fart. I'm not gonna edit this either. That's honestly a lot of work. I ain't got the time for it. Plus, it's a lot less friction for me to get the videos out. Like if my videos start catching some like good steam, like I'll start investing like some more time into it. But I want to get the information out there. I don't think I would have made this video if I like would have edited it, because it would have taken a lot of time, and I ain't got a lot of time anymore. I used to spend like hours and hours like doing nothing, like on YouTube, and now I work. Try to work as much overtime as I can just to stack that bread. Work out. ETC. So some variables that could affect your weight whenever you're weighing yourself. Did I use the restroom? How long ago did I eat? How much water did I drink? Am I dehydrating? Etc. So, since we're talking about tracking weight and calories and stuff like that, should you gain weight or should you lose weight? This all depends on your body type, what your goals are, and that's about it. So I'll give you a couple different examples. If you're skinny, you're gonna want to bulk, obviously. You're gonna want to pack on some muscle. So you're gonna want to eat about like 300 to 500 calories in surplus. So you find the calories. So you go to like that calorie calculator. You get the calories that allow you to like maintain your weight. You fine tune in everything, and then you add 300 to 500 calories on top of that. And whenever we talk about cutting, it's pretty much the exact same thing, except 300 to 500 calories going backwards. So if you're skinny, I recommend bulking up first. Obviously, you're not gonna like, if you're skin and bones, you probably don't want to be more skin and bones. Like, you probably want some like meat on them bones, if you catch my drift. Just know, this goes for everyone. When you're bulking, expect to gain some fat. No matter how well and how clean you eat, you will gain some fat whenever you bulk. This is because in order to gain muscle, you need to eat in a calorie surplus. You have to have more calories coming in than you're burning. And inevitably, you will gain some fat. There's two different ways to do a bulk too, yo. And you got to make sure you do it the right way. So the right way to bulk is to eat good quality food, good quality healthy food. And you want to be in a calorie surplus from like 300 to 500 calories. And there's the other scenario. This is a dirty bulk. I've done this one too, where you pretty much just eat anything that's in front of you. If you're hungry, you just throw down some food, not really caring what you eat. Literally just eating as much as you want and thinking that all those extra calories are going to help you build muscle. Well, your body can only build so much muscle at one time. Because if that was the case, then literally freaking like Arnold would have ate like probably like 20,000 calories a day. And there'd be a lot of people out here like those big like 700 pound, my 700 pound life. Yeah, those would be like Mr. Olympias out there if that was the case. But it's not. Your body can only use only builds so much muscle at one time. So pretty much anything over 500 calories in surplus, like it's pretty much just going to fat. So make sure you bulk the right way. Don't just eat a bunch of food thinking that you're gonna get more muscle that way. If anything, you're probably gonna get less, because after you're done with that bulk, you're eventually gonna want to get rid of that fat that you just stored up. If you do it the clean way, you have way less fat that you have to burn off, if you want to burn off some anyway. But if you dirty bulk, you're gonna have a lot of fat that you're gonna have to burn off, and by being in a calorie deficit, you're eventually gonna have to burn into the muscle as well. And if you're in there for longer, you quite possibly might burn through more muscle than if you just did it the right way the first time. Plus, you have to go diet, and that's no fun. That's no fun if you like to eat. So if you're skinny fat, I'd still recommend bulking. And if you don't know what skinny fat is, just imagine like a default character, like the most random like NPC ever. They're not skinny, like you can't see their bones, but they're not fat. Like they ain't got a gut hanging off, they ain't got like man titties. They're literally just smooth. You can't see any muscle. They got like no muscle, and they ain't got no bones. Default character. And in that scenario, I would also bulk, because muscle is like way harder to get than cutting fat. And you, if you ain't got any muscle, if you're looking smooth, like you're gonna want to add on some muscle. This is the one category, or this is like the one weight group that you kind of have like an option between cutting and bulking, in my opinion at least. Like others might have their own. I think one's better than the other. I still like, if you're fat, like 25 to 30% body fat. Like you're not obese yet. You're not obese where like it's hard to walk and stuff like that, but you're just like you're on the heavier side. At that point, like I would recommend still bulking. A clean bulk though. And I would stay towards like the lower end of the calorie surplus. Like I would go around like 300, like 150 to 300. So you're not gaining as much fat. Like you kind of just like wanted to stay like at that level, but like gaining muscle. And whenever you gain muscle and don't lose fat at the same time, you look better regardless, because your body composition gets better. But the reason I say there's two options is because if that fat is really bothering you, and by losing some of that fat, like it would motivate you to get in the gym more, and like you've been fat your whole life and you just want to be like thinner, then I think in that scenario, like cutting some weight first and then going on a bulk would be more beneficial for you, like for your mental state and for like the motivation and getting into that habit. And then obviously, like if you're obese, like just you're going on a cut, because first of all, you won't even be able to see that damn muscle underneath all that fat, like no matter how much you put on there. And whenever you're obese, like you're not healthy. You need to prioritize your health and lose some of that weight before you can start putting on muscle, because the last thing you want to do is freaking die at like 20 years old from a heart attack. Like you need to take care of your health first and then get the body in shape. And also, specifically on a cut, make sure that you're eating plenty of protein. I know there's like a wide range of like studies like showing from like anywhere from like 0.6 grams of protein to like 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body fat. With cutting, for sure, like I would go to like 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat, just to make sure I'm not eating into muscle. Because man, that muscle is hard to get, and you do not want to be eating into any of it. So make sure you're eating plenty of protein, regardless if you're bulking or cutting. So we're talking about protein and cutting, bulking and cutting. This ties into there. Macros. I needed that. I'm starving. So, what should my macro split be? And how should I time my meals? I'm gonna go over that right now. In my personal opinion, in my personal experience, I think just having an overall well-balanced diet is the best for your overall like well-being and performance. A lot of people demonize fat because there's 9 grams of calories. No, not 9 grams of calories. There's 9 calories in a gram of fat. And it's literally fat. So people are like, oh, fat's bad. I'm not going to eat any fat at all. I don't eat protein and carbs. Like they demonize fat. And there's some people that like demonize carbs and be like, oh, I'm going to eat keto. Like I can't have no carbs at all. Our body was meant to eat carbs, proteins, and fats. Like they're all necessary for us to function properly. Fats are important for hormone production, for brain health, and it's like a good source of like, how do I describe this? Okay, fat, right? Imagine fat. Okay, we're gonna think of this is my analogy here. We have a campfire, yeah? Fat is the log. It's gonna be slow burning, but it's gonna burn for a long time. Long, basically like slow and steady. That's what fat is. Sorry, I had a timer go on. Slow and steady. That's what fat is. Carbs, on the other hand, they're like the fire starter. There's a lot of energy, and you get it all quickly. And you get it pretty instantaneously. It's really good to have some carbs pre-workout because of that. Fiber is also a carb and is very important in your overall well-being, your digestion, and your overall well-being. I'm pretty sure I said that twice, but at this point, like I'm kind of falling asleep and I'm doing my best to get through this while still giving out good information. So just have a well-balanced diet, yo. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm not gonna, you don't have to cut out a whole certain group. Like, I don't know if anyone that's cut out like protein like that sounds kind of retarded. Fats, carbs, good. As long as you're not eating like 100% of your calories in carbs and like 100% of fat. Enough on that. So what's that healthy balance look like? For me personally, I try to stay around 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat. And it's not exact every single day. Like some days, like my protein is like down. It usually isn't. It's usually like the other two that are like fluctuating. Like my protein is usually pretty high. Sometimes I have like 30% carbs and like 30% fats. Sometimes I have like, it's just a fluctuation. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be a perfect like, oh my God, I had a 39 39% freaking protein and a 41% carb. Like, oh my God, the world's dying. No, it's not like that. Like mine fluctuates like plus or minus like 10% like each category. I mean, that's like 10% is kind of extreme, but it fluctuates. So don't worry too much about it. So how do you time your meals? Personally, I like to have a carb heavy meal right before my workout to energize me and fuel me through the workout, as well as having some protein and, a little bit of fat as well. Well balanced. I like to have one right before my workout, like 20-30 minutes, like max before my workout. Let it start digesting. I'm not super full. Workout. Then I also have another meal afterwards because I just worked out and I always get hungry after working. I'm just a hungry guy. I like eating. And then I have like one more bigger meal, like somewhere in the day. And then I sprinkle in some snacks. I like to eat, yo. I like to eat. As long as you're staying within your macros, within your calories, technically you could eat it all in one meal if you really wanted to. Would I advise that? No, it's not like the most optimum way to like build muscle, but like it's possible. It's not like the biggest deal in the world. Like if you only have 2 meals compared to like spreading it out. Spreading it out is the most optimal way. Like eating something like every 2 hours, eating some protein like every 2 hours, like that's like the most optimal situation. But I know like a lot of people like don't have the time to be eating like 6 times a day or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, if you can though, like try to like spread it out like evenly throughout the day. Like, I think like 5 or 6 meals a day, like 5 or 6 like smaller meals, but like always like have some protein in it is like the most optimal way. But it's not like the biggest deal in the world. Like if you have 3 meals a day, as long as you're getting your macros and calories right, then like you're pretty much fine. So here's some things that I forgot to add in the section before, like whenever I was talking about like the calorie tracking and yeah, calorie tracking and just like tracking in general. This goes into that category. There's an app on your phone that'll be very useful for you, possibly two, depending on if you're like a digital person or like a notebook, like pen and paper person. MyFitnessPal is an absolute savior, time saver. It's a great freaking app. It makes life so much easier. I have MyFitnessPal Premium, so I'm able to scan barcodes and it like automatically put my food in there and I just put the amount of grams on there. It saves so much time. If you're serious about it, like the premium is kind of like a good, it saves a lot of time. I'm just saying that. But if you don't have premium, like you can still like type in the food, put in the amount of grams in there, like it shows up in like the food database. And you ain't gotta go online and like try to figure out like the calories and like log them in and then add them up at the end of the day. Like automatically does that for you. It just saves you a lot of time. Plus there's like a weight tracker on there that like shows you a graph of your weight. You can take progress photos as well and see like your progress throughout like the months. Overall, it's a really good app. I highly recommend getting that app. It makes life so much easier. The second one is you're going to need something, whenever we were talking about the equipment, you're going to need something to track all your stuff down. So you can either have other than MyFitnessPal for like your food and stuff like that, or you could also use like pen and paper, notes, something like that. Anyway, I'm getting tired. I've been up since like 8 p.m. and it's like 12 a.m. right now, and I work like 10-hour shift. Like I'm tired. I'm excited to get in the shower and like get some sleep. You'll need somewhere to track your progress. So that can either be a notebook, it can be the notes app on your phone, it can be a dedicated workout app. There's one called Strong on the App Store. I used to use that one a lot. Now I now I use FitLog, and I have a personal trainer to hold me accountable for for my workouts. That's another tip that I have, but like a lot of people don't want to spend money on it, but I spend the money mainly to like hold myself accountable and make myself do the workout, because if I don't, I'm wasting my money. So it's another like good motivator as well. Plus he also gives me good tips, and like he helps me correct some of the form. Like I'm not perfect. Like I'm not Chris Bumstead level. I'm just a normal guy who used to be fat and has went through the journey and just wants to help other people get there. So let's just get into the workouts itself. This is a mistake that a lot of people make. Their first day to the gym, they go there and they absolutely freaking kill themselves. They go to failure on like everything. They're so dedicated. Well, not dedicated. That's not the right word. They're so motivated that one singular day to go in there, and they think by them completely destroying their muscles, they're gonna get like Arnold in like a couple of days based off the recovery. Like I said earlier, it's a long term game. Like you ain't gonna make no. Yes, you have to train hard. By going to failure and like totally killing yourself on the first day, like you're only shooting yourself in the foot. First of all, your body's not used to it. Like especially if you went from like sedentary lifestyle, doing absolutely nothing every single day, and you go straight out to like hitting like a crazy 2 hour workout where you're going everything to failure. Your body's gonna hate you tomorrow. You're gonna be so damn sore. Your muscles are gonna hurt. You're gonna be aching. The last thing you're gonna want to do is another workout. And like I said, consistency is the most important thing. You just want to get in there. You want to get into the routine things. You just want to do like some easier movements. Yes, you want to work hard. Yes, you're still going to be sore, but you're not trying to kill yourself. That's the biggest mistake I see at the beginning. Getting back to that, the whole goal, the whole goal, whenever you're a beginner, is to make a habit out of it. Because once you make working out a habit, like I said earlier, humans are creatures of habit. Once you make it a habit, it becomes a lot easier. Like you're not really thinking about it. It just becomes part of like who you are. It's a lifestyle. It becomes who you are. I work out. It makes it a lot easier. Yeah, it's like it's not gonna make it easier to the point where like, oh man, like I'm just gonna have motivation every single day. No, you're not gonna have motivation every single day. But once you make it a habit, it becomes easier. Here's how I'd start, by the way. If you have access to a gym, you can go to any gym, by the way. If you have access to a gym, I'd recommend just sticking with compound lifts for like the first 3 months. First 3 months, just do compound lifts. Focus on getting the form down. Focus on mind muscle connection. Form, mind muscle connection, and progressively overloading. Form, obvious, is how you perform the lift. Form is very important because you have improper form, you're going to be hitting the wrong muscles in some situations, which defeats the purpose. Like if you're bodybuilding, then form is, I would say, a lot more important than like if you're just trying to power lift. Like power, it's still important, obviously, but if you don't have the right form and you're trying to like bodybuild, like for example, you roll your you roll your shoulders forward too much, like on a bench press, like you're gonna be hitting front delts instead of your chest. Happened to me. I'm now just starting to fix that after like 5 years in the gym. It sucks. It sucks, but it's a slow journey. Like I said, like I'm getting better every day. You're gonna get better every day. Let's get it. All right. So form, muscle memory. So this is a good way to describe muscle memory / mind muscle connection. Muscle memory and mind muscle connection is how well you're able to like isolate a muscle. Think about it. Like, all right, I gotta do a bicep curl. Think about it and how well you're able to like squeeze and contract the muscle without like activating any muscles at the same time. Hope that makes sense. But like for example, if you're doing a squat, like you're not really isolating any muscles. Like you're hitting a whole bunch of like different muscles. But like for example, whenever you're doing a bicep curl, like you should only be feeling it in the bicep. And if you have good mind muscle connection, you should be able to like consciously like flex that muscle, if you catch my drift. I'll just read you my definition when I put down, all right? Muscle memory / mind muscle connection is how well you're able to isolate and squeeze a muscle on command. For example, you're doing a bicep curl and you put all of your brain power into only using / activating the bicep. Here's another thing about mind muscle connection, and then we'll talk about progressive overload afterward. There'll be some muscles that you have that you're gonna have phenomenal mind muscle connection with. And then there are gonna be some that you're gonna have terrible mind muscle connection with. I'll tell you mine. I got terrible mind muscle connection with my chest. It's getting better. I'm starting to develop the mind muscle connection with my chest, but it's when I'm doing bench, but whenever I'm doing like any sort of like chest like exercises, like for some reason it's just hard for me to feel and like only isolate my chest muscle. It'd be like that sometimes. And because of that, it's one of my weaker muscle groups. But one of my stronger muscle groups, my biceps. My biceps, like I got real good mind muscle connection with my biceps. And because I got such a good mind muscle connection with my biceps, like it's one of my stronger like muscle groups. In my experience at least, Usually the muscles that you have a good mind muscle connection with will usually be one of your stronger muscle groups. My experience. And usually grow fairly easy compared to the muscles that you got bad mind muscle connection with. So for me, like my biceps just blew up whenever like I trained bicep curls. Whenever I started like training biceps, like seriously, like they blew up like so damn easily. But at the same time, I'm able to isolate them and I'm able to get like a pump in that muscle like effortlessly compared to like my chest. So that's that. Progressive overload. And this is like one of the cornerstones of like making gains and like getting bigger in the gym. It's a pretty simple concept. Every time you go to the gym, you want to make it harder in some way. You can either do that by adding an extra set, an extra rep, an extra pound. As long as you're making the workout harder every single workout, you're getting better form. As long as you're upping the difficulty every single time, no matter how small it is, you're gonna make gains. That's progressive overload. You never just want to stay like stagnant because your body's gonna get used to it and it's not gonna be building anymore. You want to keep upping the weights, and that's how you get gains. That's progressive overload. That's crucial. That's crucial. Because if you don't, you'll get gains at the beginning, but then you'll eventually plateau. You're not going to get no more gains no more because your body is like, I do this all the time. Like I'm used to it. So you need to like increase the weight in order to build more muscle. That's progressive overload. Very important. You need to do that. Sorry, back on my muscle connection. Well, the muscles that you have bad mind muscle connection to, anytime that you got some free time, just try to squeeze that muscle like as hard as you can. Like just imagine like just trying to squeeze that muscle and just flex it and like try to get like the blood pump into it. Like you want to like you're trying to like get a pump in that muscle by just flexing it. And you can like the mind muscle connection gets a lot better whenever you do that. At least it does for me. Like I do that with my chest. Like I just flex it, I squeeze it whenever I got like some free time. And then for some reason, like the more I squeeze, like the easier it is to squeeze. It's like your brain is like developing that like neural connection to that muscle. Anytime you got free time, like if you're standing in the mirror, like flexing or something like that, just flex the muscles that you have a hard time with. And even flex the muscles that you're good with. Like just flexing is good and it helps with the mind muscle connection. Mind muscle connection is also very important. At least it is for me. Because if you have the mind muscle connection, you're able to target the muscle that you want to properly, then you're able to make it grow a lot easier. So back to the workouts. I would stick to compound, like if you're at the gym, I would stick to compounds for 3 months. 3 months because you want to build like a foundation. And by building a good foundation, it'll make it a lot easier to like you learn. Same with like riding a bicycle. Like at first you had no idea what you were doing, but like the more you did it, like the more you'd figure it out. You're just trying to get a taste of the gym and just trying to figure out like what it's all about. Like you're obviously not gonna learn that all in 3 months, but you get the basics, you know what like how hard is like to failure, at least for you. Like, you know, gym etiquette, like your form is better, like the name of exercises, like your way around the gym, how much weight you can rep with, like you're comfortable with the bar, like the squats aren't hurting your neck anymore, your back anymore. Like, you're just getting into the groove of it. You made it a habit. That's basically what the 3 months are for. Build like a little bit of strength as well. Um, yeah, 3 months of compound lift. We're trying to make a habit out of it. I did say that earlier, but I have to keep harping it. Like we're trying to make it a habit. That's very important. If you make it a habit, it becomes part of your lifestyle. It becomes part of your lifestyle. You're gonna stick with it. If you stick with it, you're gonna get gains. Yada yada yada. We want gains. That's what I'm talking about. But if you have no access to the gym, body weight is still a very effective way of building muscle and gaining strength and like dipping your feet into bodybuilding. So now I'm gonna go over like the compound lifts that you should do in the gym and the body weight exercises to do like if you don't have a gym. So for the compound lifts, you're gonna want to do a bench press, which is you're lying on your back and you have like a barbell. Really wish I could show you this. You know what? I might make another video on like me just doing all these exercises and showing you like like the workout and like just how to follow it. Okay, I'll do that. That sounds pretty cool, and then I'll help you guys out too. But for now, like worst case scenario, you watch this video and you really want to know. Like just for now, you're gonna have to go just like look up these exercises and like watch other people do them. But eventually, I'll upload it on here. You're gonna want to do the bench press. You're gonna want to do an overhead press, which works shoulders. You're gonna want to do squats, deadlifts, pull-ups slash assisted pull-ups slash lat pull-downs. Because pull-ups can be hard. Pull-ups are probably one of the hardest of those exercises. And once you have the ability to do pull-ups, pull-ups will blow your back up. Pull-ups are freaking great. You want to do pull-ups if you can, but if you can't, try to do assisted pull-ups. You can't do assisted pull-ups because they don't have a machine or they don't have the band. Then do lat pull-downs. They work as well. And then you're also going to want to do bent over rows, which is barbell bent over back rows, which is where you have like the bar and then like you're pulling, like you're leaning forward a little bit and you're pulling it like towards like your waistline. And then the body weight exercises, we got push-ups, we have air squats, lunges. There's a shoulder push-up where like, if you ever watch yoga, like it kind of looks like a downward dog, where you're kind of doing like an A shape. So you're not flat. So instead of being like this, you're kind of like that, and then you're like your head is down and you're able to do like it'll hit shoulders instead. That one, sit-ups, planks, and then like support your arm on something and then get like a water jug or something like that, like something heavier, and just like pull it back. And just use it as like a dumbbell or something like that. Like I was saying earlier, with progressive overload, when you're doing these exercises, you want to write down, like, it's crucial because this is kind of like the scale and the food scale, like you're tracking progress, and you don't know if you're getting better if you're not tracking progress. You don't know if you're progressively overloaded if you don't track progress. You're not able to compare to yourself if you don't track progress. So you need to track how many reps you're doing, how many sets you're doing. Reps are like, okay, sets, first of all, sets are kind of like groups. So we have 3 sets of 10. So you do 1 set of 10 reps. So like 10, like if you're doing bench press, you press it up 10 times. That's reps for 3 sets. So you want to do the sets, write down the sets, you're going to write down the reps. And if you want extra credit, write down like how hard it was, like on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't really even do this, but like it's just another like measurement that you can do that might help you as well. Because like if you, like it's just an extra step. Like if you go work out and you did like, I don't know, like 100 pounds for 12 reps and it was like 8 out of 10 difficulty, and then like you do like 100 reps for, I mean not 100, like 100 pounds for 12 reps and it's a 7 out of 10, then yeah, like you can use it as like another like variable measurement kind of do. So how should you split out your workout? Well, there's multiple different splits that you can do. There's a bro split where you hit one muscle group per workout. So Monday, chest, Tuesday, arms, Wednesday, legs, Thursday, shoulder, something like that. I don't recommend that one because you're not hitting the muscle, like you want to try to hit a muscle group twice a week, like optimally. Well, 3 times optimally, but like twice a week is, you get like 95% of the gains. So you really don't want to do a bro split, honestly. Like if it's either you working, like not working out at all, or bro split, like do the bro split obviously, but try to stick to a push pull leg. So One day you do like all the pushing movements, like the bench press, overhead press, push up, something like that. Pull ups, barbell rows, um, bicep curl. Doesn't seem like a, yeah, it does. It's a pull. Legs, obviously, legs. Like you do your squats and deadlifts. Eventually you'll get to like exercises too. Where you do like calf raises or like lunges, stuff like that. So you split it out into that, or there's also like the upper lower split where you do like all of the upper body in one day and all the lower body one day. And then there's a full body split, full body split where you do the whole body all in one day. And that one's actually the best for time saving, but that's also the most intense. So like you kind of just have to like weigh it out, like depending on like how much you want to do it. Personally, I do push pull legs, and then instead of like repeating the cycle, like I do push like okay, instead of repeating the cycle, push pull legs, push pull legs, push pull legs. I do push pull legs, and then my lacking muscle groups I do after legs. Let's push pull legs, lacking muscle group, push pull legs, lacking muscle group over and over and over again. And for me, that's like the chest and the shoulders, which are two of like some of the most important ones for like building an aesthetic body. So yeah, almost an hour and a half. I'm getting through this. I apologize if I'm all over the place. I'm tired as hell, but I want to get this out because if it helps one person, like I'll feel happy about it, to be honest. Plus, I want to start posting on YouTube. Like being a YouTuber is cool. And shout out to Hamza for. Did he motivate me? I don't know. I feel like Hamza just. He's kind of like a role model, you know? Like he was fat as well and like super insecure, shy, and then he built himself up to be a boss. Like if he can do that, I can do it too. Like okay. So those are different routines that you can do. So I'm not gonna drop it today, but I'm gonna drop out like some basic workout programs for y'all. Like some bare bones, like just build the foundation of it. And I'll drop it in the description. Y'all can check out like Jeff Nippert or Renaissance Periodization or um, Coach Greg Doucette. They're all professional bodybuilders, and they might be able to give you some better exercises for free. But like, I'm just trying to get you into the habit of this thing, and like compound lifts, good foundation. I'm just trying to keep it simple for y'all, like not trying to overcomplicate it. Like compound lifts will do you justice. Like you're gonna gain muscle, you're gonna gain strength, you're gonna get like you're just meeting that like foundation. Like that's what you're trying to do at the beginning. If you have a good foundation to build on, you can build a strong structure. If you got a shitty foundation, it's all gonna fall apart, baby. Okay. Like I said, I'll release this in the description. I'll make like a PDF and I'll make it like a free download. And eventually I'm gonna get like all this information and like condense it down into like a Word document, which you can take and like get like everything that I said right now into like a Word document if that makes it easier for y'all too. I don't know when I'm gonna do that, but I'll make sure to work on that. So you can do a full body 3 times a week, And like, for example, day one, you do 3 sets of 10 on the bench, 3 by 10 on squats, 3 by 10 on pull-ups and pull-downs. And that's the whole day. Then the next workout would be 3 by 10 overhead press, 3 by 10 deadlifts, and then 3 by 10 bent over rows. And you literally just keep like cycling that over and over and over again for 3 months. You know, obviously progressively overloading, trying to get like the form better, trying to like increase the weight, stuff like that. And you'll start to see some progress. I promise you that. If you follow all the guidelines that I'm telling you about, like you'll 100% see some progress. And it doesn't have to be in the same like order either. You don't always have to do bench first or squat or pull-ups, pull down. Like for example, week 1 you do bench first and then squats and then pull-ups. Week 2 you could do squats, pull-ups, and then bench. And then week 3 you do pull-ups, then bench, and then squats. Or if you want to prioritize like a certain like muscle group, then like for example you want to get like a bigger chest, like the chest is like the one that you really want to grow, because who doesn't like a big ass chest? You can just do bench first, and then like you're like, oh, I already got big ass legs, you can put legs last. But I'm just gonna let you know, by putting legs last, you're kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, because legs are like the hardest one to train. You like, for me at least, like I want to get rid of like the hardest exercise first. Then there's the push-pull legs. For the push workout, you can do 3 by 10 on the bench press, 3 by 10 on the overhead press. That's it. That's the workout for the day. Then you take a day rest, and then you come back in. Then you do pull, 3 by 10 pull-ups, 3 by 10 pull-downs. No. Sorry. 3 by 10 pull-ups / pull-downs, and then 3 by 10 bent over rows. That's it. And then legs, like you wait a day, and then legs, 3 by 10 squat and 3 by 10 deadlifts. That's it. And just repeat the cycle. And as long as you're progressively overloading, you're giving it good effort, and you're not just going through the motions. 100%, you're gonna build mass. Like you're gonna progress 100%. Then there's upper lower split, where you can do like all your upper body movements on one day, and then on your lower you can do all your lower body movements. So first workout for upper is 3 by 10 on bench, 3 by 10 on bent over row, and then 3 by 10 on overhead press. Lower, 3 by 10 on squats, 3 by 10 deadlifts. And then the next time, 3 by 10 bench, 3 by 10 pull-ups, pull-downs, and then 3 by 10 overhead press. And then lower number 2, deadlifts 3 by 10, and the squat 3 by 10. I promise, we're almost done. So what about cardio? Cardio, whenever you hear cardio, at least for me, like my heart skips a beat a little bit. I don't really like doing cardio. You know what? I actually don't agree with that. I like doing cardio, but I do not like doing high intensity cardio where like I feel like I'm gonna vomit, like sprints and stuff like that. I like walking, and that's what I'm gonna recommend to y'all. So cardio is important, first of all, like especially if you're cutting weight. If you're doing cardio, you're able to eat more food because you're burning more calories, and plus you're getting like a workout in. Like it's good for your heart, it's good for your health. Like you just want to do cardio regardless if you want to like have a good body or not. Like it's just basic like body maintenance. It's like getting like an oil change on your car, or like just running like the engine like every week, just to make sure like the parts don't get all messed up and everything like that. Cardio is just maintenance for your body. So not only does it help burn calories, it helps make you sweat, like release all those toxins, um, burn more calories. The good news, like I said, the good news is like whenever you're weightlifting, like you're not trying to kill yourself with the cardio. So you just do something really easy like walking, and that's what I'm gonna tell y'all to do. 30 minutes of walking every day. If you do a 30-minute walk every single day, like you'll be chilling. Like for example, like for 30 minutes a day, like you just sit in your room and watch YouTube, then if you got a treadmill, then go on the treadmill and watch the YouTube video while you're on the treadmill and just walk. Or if you don't have a treadmill, just go outside and watch the video while you walk. It's pretty easy, like, and you're not like running out of breath, you're getting fresh air, you're getting sunlight, like it's good for you. It's 30 minutes a day. And if you can't do like, for some reason you can't do 30 minutes a day, which I'm pretty sure like, shoot, if I'm able to like work a 10-hour shift, work out, make a video, like y'all got 30 minutes to go on a walk every day. But if y'all don't, at least work out on the days, like at least walk on the days that you're not working out, like on like the in between rest days. Just do that and you'll be good. So the goal is to do some sort of exercise every single day, mainly to make it a habit, to become a routine. And like I said, it's just good for you. You wanna treat your body well. You've only got one for your whole life, and you don't want to neglect it at the beginning. And then whenever you're like 40, 50 years old, whenever you have like a family and people caring on you, your body starts shutting down and you die, and you're not able to spend time with your family and your grandchildren and stuff like that. That'd be awful. Hope that doesn't happen to anyone. So, I'm pretty sure this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last point and we're done here. What happens whenever you just don't feel like it? Whenever you wake up and you're just really dreading the gym or like really dreading that walk, you're like, oh, I really don't want to go. And like you've already convinced yourself that like, I'm just not going to do it. Let's take a walk, for example. Like if you're just so convinced that like, I just don't want to do it at all, like I'm really not feeling it today, just take the step to put on your shoes. Put on your walking shoes. Put on your walking shoes and literally step outside the door. If you put on your walking shoes and step outside the door and you still don't want to do it, just walk right back inside. But usually the hardest part is getting the shoes on and walking outside the door. And once you're going, it's easy as hell. And you're like, and then afterwards you're like, damn, I'm glad I did that. And a lot of times whenever I go outside and walk, I say I'm only gonna go for like 30 minutes. I end up like walking for an hour. It's just so peaceful. I'm burning calories. I feel good. I got some endorphins going on. That's what you do whenever you don't feel like it. It's the same for the gym. There was one time where actually, here I'll tell you what to do first, then I'll tell you my experience. I have a gym in my garage, so it makes it a lot easier to like just show up. But like I used to work at a gas station and the gym was like 5 minutes away, so I told myself if I really don't feel like it, I'm just gonna drive to the gym with my gym bag, walk inside, and get changed. And like if I don't want to do anything or if I really don't feel like it after then I'll just pack my stuff up and go. Every time except once, I stayed and I finished the workout. There was one time where I just was not feeling it at all. Like even I was working, like I was just not into it. So like I did like 2 sets of squats and I was like, I'm just so dead. I'm not into this. I'm not anything. And I just left. And instead of feeling guilty that I didn't go, like I was like, I showed up for myself. I at least put in the effort to like do something about it instead of just saying like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, or like I'm not even gonna show up for myself. Like at least have the respect to do that for myself. That's what I would do if you just really don't feel like it. That's pretty much it. I think I covered pretty much everything there is to know about getting your dream body. obviously there's way more like nitty gritty, but like if you follow all these, like this is just like this is a really good foundation. If you follow all the things that I told you in this video today, like you'll be golden, my friend. You will make the gains that you want. Yes, it'll take some time. Yes, you're probably gonna have to fine tune what works for you. Maybe compound lifts don't work for you and you end up switching off the program afterwards. That's okay. My whole goal is just to get you into working out. I'm tired, yo. I'm tired, yo. So, before I leave, in the next week, I'm gonna make like the PDF of the workouts. I'll make those for y'all. I'll do a push pull legs, I'll do an upper lower, and then I'll also do the full body workout. I'm gonna have those posted in the links. I'm gonna have an affiliate link to some scales. It's like the weight scale and the food scale. And if you buy through the link, I'll get like a couple bucks, which will be awesome. Because honestly, I would be doing this, like I would be making a whole bunch of videos about like making myself better and making the people around me better. Like self-help videos is what I'm trying to get at. I want to make self-help videos like that is really freaking awesome, but like right now I have to work at a job with a bunch of hours to be able to live. I'm tired. I'm losing steam. Basically, if I'm able to self-sustain myself with this YouTube channel, then this will be my full-time job. But until then, I've got to keep working. So, like any money that I get, like will help make. I'll just reinvest it back into the channel. Like I'm thinking about, like if I keep making these videos, which I will. I'm gonna invest in like a good camera, a good lighting setup. I might get like a green screen, like an actual mic, like just upgrade like the whole setup. And then yeah, and basically I'm just gonna reinvest into this channel. And then I'm also going to yeah, I'm gonna make a summary of like basically everything I wrote in this notebook, which I'm also, like I said earlier in this video, I'm gonna be making a video about like this tiny notebook and how like it's a freaking game changer, and how like this literally cost me like $1.30. This right here is wonderful. I'm making a video about this as well. I'm gonna be making a summary of what I wrote into here. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I know it started getting a little bit slow there at the end. I was losing steam. I'm freaking tired. But I wanted to put out this video. And I'm proud of myself. And I hope that at least one person got like something from it. And hopefully I influence someone. Even if they take like one piece of it, even if they only just start like measuring their food, like life will be good for them. Hope you all do well. Thank you for watching. Mr. Chad.